Was good, ballers? It's Jim's Ballin' back again with my thoughts and reaction to this latest Detroit Lions game. Week 13 versus the Bears on Thanksgiving. Got the win barely, but a win's a win, and we'll always take a win. Now up to a franchise best 11-1 record. Never had that record before. Crazy to think about, but glad we keep winning. So yeah, here were some thoughts and reaction, and let's just talk about the elephant in the room at first. The end of the game, Matt Eberflus not calling the timeout at the end of the game. So ideally, you should have called a timeout. Right after you took the sack, you got the timeout, you got to call the timeout then. And even if you trust Caleb Williams to get a play up, give him like 10 seconds after the sack, get a play out. By the time it hit 20 seconds and you realize Caleb Williams, he's not getting the team organized, they're not getting a playoff anytime soon, that's the latest you got to call the timeout at 20 seconds to at least give your team a chance to get a playoff, to do something. But yeah, ideally, you would have called the timeout right after the sack. As I was watching it live, just right after the sack happened, I'm like, this is huge. Okay, 30 seconds left, they're going to call timeout, probably got 2 more plays left. We got 2 plays to stop them, and if we can do that, we can win the game, right? But right after the sack happened, the clock just keeps running. I'm like, okay, they're taking a while to get a play off. By the time it hit 20 seconds, I'm like, okay, they got to call timeout now, but they didn't. Clock just keeps running, and just every second just feels like an entire minute. And it's just like, is this really happening? Are they just seriously just letting the clock bleed out until it goes all the way down to like 5 seconds? And I'm like, this is going to be the final play of the game because they've wasted so much time. And it's a throw. Caleb Williams throws up some bullshit. It's incomplete. And that's the end of the game. I thought they were going to do some bullshit like say there's a second left on the clock and let the Bears get a Hail Mary up. But nope. Incomplete, end of game. It was just complete stupidity by the Bears. I don't know how you let that happen. Like, if it was me, what I'd do is just right after the sack, you take the sack. There's no way your team's going to like get a play off really quick after that sack. The clock's running. So you got one more timeout. Call the timeout. You got 30 seconds left. It's third down. You got a third down and a fourth down. So you got 30 seconds to get probably 2 plays off, right? So you dial up your third down play, probably a pass, probably try to get out of bounds. But even if it's completed over the middle, you still got a decent amount of time to set up either a Hail Mary or a field goal after that. Let's just say you take the sack, you got 30 seconds left, you complete your first play, you get out of bounds, and then you have time to set up either a field goal or fourth down Hail Mary. Let's just say the play takes like 10 seconds, right? Even if it's completed over the middle in bounds, the play takes 10 seconds. You got 20 seconds to either decide that you need a field goal or a Hail Mary, depending on how much yards you get, right? Your professional football team, you're saying that you need to save that timeout. You don't trust your team in 20 seconds to get the field goal unit on there and get a field goal up. Your professional football team, and you can't do that in 20 seconds. Same thing if it's just not close enough for a field goal. Completed over the middle, got 20 seconds left, the clock's running, it's fourth down. You're saying that you don't trust your team in 20 seconds to like get a Hail Mary up? I mean, considering how long they took after the sack to get a play up, I mean, maybe. But your professional football team, you should be able to use that time to get a playoff, right? Like, I understand having trust in Caleb. Give him a little bit of time, try to see if he gets a playoff. I understand that, but by the time it hit 20 seconds left and Caleb was nowhere near to getting a playoff, you have to call a timeout at that point because you realize your team is not going to get a playoff anytime soon, and you have to give your team a chance to win rather than let Caleb just bleed the clock away, throw up some bullshit on the last play of the game, and you're just sitting there with a timeout left that you could have used. Like, it's completely ridiculous that the Bears kind of gifted the Lions that win. But I mean, shout out to the defense. They locked it up at the end, so shout out to them. We can talk about a few other things. I mean, the big thing again for the Lions is just injuries. I know I said in previous videos, like, it's next man up. I still have faith in this team, next man up. But when you're at the point where the next man up of the next man up of the next man up is injured, like, you're running out of guys to put on the field. And most of your defensive starters are injured, and then backups are injured too. So you're putting on backups with backups. Like, it's hard to say just next man up. I have faith. So Just the injuries have been killing the Lions. I mean, maybe we can get healthy in time for the playoffs. Some more defensive linemen got banged up. Backup linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez is out for the season with torn ACL. Remember the week before, Anzalone was out until the playoffs. Now the backup linebacker's out for the rest of the season. Like, it's just really tough to just completely have faith and say just next man up for this Detroit Lions team, because we're running out of guys. It's tough for me to have faith against the Packers going the next week. Hopefully the offense can actually start clicking a bit better. I want to say shout out to the defense for this game, because in the first half, they didn't allow the Bears a first down until basically garbage time and prevent defense in the last minute of the first half. Like, they didn't allow a first down at all. And in that first half, the Detroit Lions offense only put up 16 points. You didn't let the opponent get any first downs at all in the entire half, and you can only put up 16 points. Like, the red zone deficiencies had me kind of worried, all the field goals they were taking. Like, you need to score some touchdowns. The Lions didn't get a rushing touchdown at all this game. Streak broken. So the Lions definitely have the most success when they're running the ball well and getting rushing touchdowns, you have to say. And the offense just doesn't really have the excuses. Like, I know they have some injuries too, but compared to the injuries on the defense, the offense needs to be playing a lot better and putting up a lot more points. The defense, shout out to them. Really, they were the heroes. They were the ones who went out and won the game. I know they gave up a lot of points in the second half, but when it mattered most, they stepped up, they got a sack, and they won the game. The defense won the game. This injured defense, so many injuries, the defense ended up winning the game. The offense definitely needs to step it up. I don't have a lot of faith going into next week. I mean, you'd like to say that, oh, we're going to heal up, we got a long week, but nope. It's another 7-day week. They play on Thursday night against the Packers, another Thursday game. The Packers offense, the Packers have been looking really good past few weeks, and I feel like they'll probably put up a decent amount of points against the injured Lions defense. So the offense needs to be clicking. The offense needs to be able to put up touchdowns to be able to win, most likely a shootout against the Packers. And there's one thing I want to talk about that bothered me. It was in the fourth quarter with like about 8 minutes left. Lions were up 23-13, so they're up 10, and it's 4th down and 5 in field goal range, right? I would have liked them to go for it on this 4th down. And this isn't even just talking about hindsight, because they decided to settle for a field goal and then the field goal was missed, right? Like, in that moment, it was 4th down and 4. I think you go for it, because what good does the field goal get you? I mean, even if it was made, it makes a 2-score game still a 2-score game. You're up 10, kick the field goal, makes it 13. I mean, sure, I guess it forces the Bears to score 2 touchdowns to take the lead instead of a touchdown and a field goal to tie the game, but all the field goal does is make a 2-score game still a 2-score game. If you go for it on 4th down, you complete it, you get another first down, you allow the clock to keep running in the 4th quarter, you're still up 2 scores. I mean, maybe you set up another field goal later, but at least you bleed more clock. Maybe you go down, you get a touchdown, and now you're up 3 scores. 3 scores in the 4th quarter, you get that touchdown, you basically secure the game. Like, I feel like they had a chance to complete that 4th down and get a touchdown and basically win the game right there. But instead, they settle for a field goal and they miss it, so it's still a 10-point game. And even if you made it, like I said, it still just makes a 2-score game still a 2-score game. Like, with how aggressive Dan Campbell is, like, sometimes I feel like he's a bit passive when times he should be aggressive, and sometimes he's aggressive when he shouldn't be. Like, there's times when kicking a field goal and make it a 2-possession game and he still goes for it on 4th down. Like, maybe in that type of position, maybe you should go kick the field goal instead. And here, he decides to kick a field goal when basically the field goal and make a 2-possession game still a 2-possession game. Maybe you should go for it on 4th down there, try to get a touchdown to make it a 3-score game. But I'm yapping a little bit. Those are just my thoughts. I feel like Dan Campbell, I like that he's aggressive, and I just feel like he should be aggressive in smarter situations, you know? But yeah, at the end of the day, this is another win for the Lions, good win. Hopefully the defense can heal up a bit. Hopefully with all the backups in, they can still just get enough stops, and hopefully this offense can click a lot better, because today it was not clicking the best, just not able to get touchdowns in the red zone. That's disappointing. So hopefully things get better next week, because that's a big game against the Packers. one you really want to win. Just keep this lead in the NFC North, keep the lead in the NFC, keep that first seed, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully the Lions clean things up, keep getting wins. Also, one more thing I wanted to say is that the Bears did fire Matt Eberflus Friday today. So congrats on the Bears doing that. This definitely was the final straw here. Just this fuck up at the end of this game. Should have called that timeout, yes. But he's finally fired. He probably should have been fired at the end of the last season, but I mean, better late than never, I guess. Congrats on the firing. I'll see you next time. It's been Jim's Ballin'. Please like and subscribe. Peace.